I live in Bozeman, Montana, and I do audio post-production, sound for film and television. I've received 5 Emmy Awards for film and television post-production with Montana PBS on a television series, 11th and Grant with Eric Funk. Today, I've been asked to come and talk to you guys about Nuage integration in Nuendo. There are other DAWs out there that I have to use and integrate with and import and export using OMF and AES. Being able to import and export audio files in OMF and AES is a very powerful tool of this function here. And in fact, the project I'm about to show you, which is a little commercial film that we did for Leica cameras. It's a lifestyle piece about someone who uses the Leica cameras. He happens to be a famous skateboarder from back in the day, and Leica said, we want to focus in on this particular skateboarder and how he's using our products. I'm using Steinberg and Yamaha products to finish the audio post-production mix. This little short was released a couple years ago about Ray Barbie. I purchased my Nuage a little while ago, and I've been working with it feverishly ever since. It's been a very useful tool to me. I started off with the DM2000 and also an O1V96. Those were my first 2 consoles, one in each room, and I lived with those 2 consoles for probably 10 or 12 years. I guess it's longer than that. I purchased my DM2000 in the spring of 2003, and I had it, and I kept it for all those years because it was a really good board, and it was a great functioning tool to integrate into the various DAWs. You had your Huey control and all of the control functions of the faders, and you also had transport. It had read, write, track arming, just some very basic things, but it didn't have a deep integration in the console. And so over the years, I was sitting there waiting for someone to come out with a deep integration into a console, particularly for the Steinberg platform. I am a Nuendo user. That's my DAW of choice. I believe that the Nuendo platform has lots of deep integrated functions stock out of the box without having to spend thousands of dollars on additional plugins if I don't want them. As an editor, what I like to be able to do is track selection up and down, track selection left to right, scrolling, transport. I can call up timecode positions very easily. Okay, zooming here or out, scrolling here or here. I can modify the zooming. Okay, these are all the functions that I use every moment when I'm editing. Always, these are basic functions I can't live without, and they're within 6 inches of my grasp. That's very important to me. And then, of course, being able to assign and do foldback and playback. In particular, something I had to struggle with in the past was being able to listen to different speakers, different sets of monitors in the room, and reaching over and grabbing a control room monitor and jumping between the different speakers, or jumping between different volume modifiers for various speaker sets. Here, they have the control room setting where I can downmix into multiple downmix functions, and I have speaker selector right here. And that's all set up in the Nuage, and I do use the Nuage. I don't have a different I/O. I just use mine is very simple and very small. I have 1 fader pack, 1 master pack, and then this little extension so that I can put the third-party JL Cooper surround panner on there. And I do actually have that, and I use it all the time. You don't need the surround panner, but I like to have something to grab on and hold on to. All of the panning functions that the panner knob offers are also located in the pan section. So you don't have to go and do the third-party thing, but if you are addicted to having something to grab and to move around, that's why I've gone with the third-party function. The other things that are very useful in here, and I'm going to kind of scroll through this particular project while I explain these, the other things that are extremely useful, these 2 tracks here, if I want to zoom these in, right now we're looking at the 2 highlighted music tracks. If I want to split the track, I push the split button. If I want to change the tail of this particular track here, I can scroll the tail back. If I want to undo that, I can tap undo. And if I want to go to the head and I say the beginning of this track is too far to the left, I want to bring it in to the right, I can push and hold, and I can literally scrub the tails up and down. Now I want to change the fade in. I'm going to grab the fade in, and I'm going to move the fade in. Now the point of showing you this is that I haven't actually moved my hand position. All of these functions are right here underneath my right hand. Now I want to change the clip gain envelope. I'm going to hold the volume knob, and look, there's the clip gain of the actual file. I don't like what I've done. I'm going to hit undo a bunch until I'm completely rebuilt. Having those functions so close is very important. Of course, you can see that we've got a save knob here as well, so I can just tap the save button when I'm done. And then other basic editing functions. Now we're starting to move further away from my absolute required operations. Now we're getting into cut, copy, paste, range select, and move. For some of you who either have an expanded console or have a larger console, you may want to decide, I don't want the faders right there. I want to put the faders somewhere else. So in this case, I want to put all my buses, I want to put my master mix all the way on the far right. Now the master mix is bound to the far right. And I want to put my groups on the far left. Make it as confusing as possible. But what you're seeing here is, let's say you've got an editor sitting in the middle, you've got someone writing the master fader, and you've got someone else over here who happens to be group mixing. And so you can have multiple people working at the station at a time. You can configure the space however you want it, and then we can still move the actual audio tracks wherever we want. This feature blew my mind when I first started with the board. I thought that was the coolest thing.